diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and we have with us today Joshua Tomas. He's a wide receiver with Georgetown University. Nice to have you, sir.
Nice being on here. Nice to meet you, Jimmy.
So, yeah, I mean, a lot of people, kind of curious about this one guy who gets a lot of these receptions there at Georgetown University. I mean, you guys, dude, they fed you the ball a lot this past season, so it's definitely nice to have a guy with that sort of standing. But before we get rolling and talking about those sorts of things, tell me where you're from and how you actually got there to Georgetown.
So I'm Joshua Tomas. I'm from originally from Chicago, Illinois, but I grew up in University Park. I didn't have much offers when I tried to go to college. I only really had like NAIA schools, no D1s, couple D2s. Most schools were passing me up saying that my height was the problem, my size. So I got in contact with Georgetown. They reached out to me about September of my senior year. They were sending letters to my old high school, so I didn't get them until about November. Then I got an official invite. So I came out here thinking that I had an offer, but I really didn't. So I went home from that visit after I decommitted from an NAIA school from full ride and didn't know what my plan was going to be. And then Georgetown called me back about 2 nights before signing date, and they ended up offering.
Gotcha. And obviously you made your way there. Let's kind of take a step back, if you don't mind, to your days in high school. I have in my notes that you participated in some other sports, specifically baseball. Can
Yes.
you chat with me about that real quick?
Yeah, so I've been playing baseball. Well, I played baseball since I was 3 all the way up until my junior year. That was my primary sport. That was like my favorite sport growing up. I just loved the contact of football. I was just an all-around athlete in every sport I played. My mom kept me in sports, so I started out with baseball, and I just carried out throughout high school. And come my junior year, I fractured both of my clavicles, so it was just hard for me to swing a bat. So then I just started focusing on football my senior year, stopped playing baseball, and tried to get a scholarship with that.
Gotcha. And so why football, man? What is it about the game of football that you love so much?
Like I said, when I was younger, first started playing, what kept me in the sport was just the contact. I'm just a physical person. The contact is what really kept me going, and then just being on the team, just being around people that just love being active, going to get it, trying to win. I just love that atmosphere.
Yeah, and again, eventually made your way there to Georgetown University. And let's go ahead and talk about that university, if you don't mind. I mean, what makes that university, that campus, so special to you?
Kind of have a love-hate relationship with Georgetown, just because I feel like an outsider. Didn't really make too many friends throughout my years here. I just felt like that I never really fit in. But then there was also the upside of it. I had a lot of love and support from administration, staff, faculty, teammates. So it just always kept me going. I thought about transferring a couple times. I actually entered the transfer portal after my senior year, but I didn't have much luck with that. But it's definitely a blessing and an opportunity to be at a prestigious university like this.
Gotcha. And of course, one of the big things about Georgetown University is their academics. They're really well known for that sort of thing. What have you been doing as a student there?
So when I first got to Georgetown, I was on the pre-med track, which was just so time consuming, taking away like a lot of football free time. And as much as I thought I loved science in high school, when I got to college, it was a completely different story. So I went undecided, and I ended up picking up an econ major. And just because I always been good at math, so I went the econ track and I just stayed there. But that was pretty easy for me. But it's if I don't think if I would have changed my major, the academic side would have been a lot harder.
Gotcha. So what do you feel has been your maybe most difficult class to date?
So my first class when I got here was biochem, and I was struggling like really bad with that. So I had to have like a one-on-one final with my professor face to face, and that was like super terrifying. But then this last spring, I took econometrics, which is like a lot of computer data stuff and just the econ aspect. So that was like my second difficult class, but those were my two hardest classes. Everything else was pretty. It was I wouldn't say easy, but it definitely was capable of being done.
Yeah, so I mean again, it's not an easy ride there at Georgetown. I mean, they put you through a whole lot of work there, you know, in the classroom. Um Obviously coming from the Chicago area down to like DC, completely different environment like you said. I mean, maybe not as easy to like make friends and all that other stuff, you know, kind of being an outsider like you said. Um Thinking about DC, like have you been able to like really have the whole like DC experience?
So when I first got here, I didn't have a car, and I just feel like we were in a bubble. So I was just always on campus for my freshman sophomore year. Then the pandemic hit, and when I came back from the pandemic in 2021, which was my senior year, I brought my car up, so I was able to go around DC a lot more, visit a lot more places, and meet a lot more people. And it was just a great experience, and it actually made me start loving DC more, which is what kept me here once after I entered the transfer portal.
Cool, cool. So let's get to talking about your guys' offense, if you don't mind. I mean, again, like a lot of your offense is running through you, but how would you kind of describe your offense, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so um, we 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 call ourselves an attack offense. We try to attack deep. We try to push the run game. We didn't have much luck with that these past couple of years, but we had a couple people on our team that wanted to make plays and a couple people that didn't want to make plays. So we just kept trying to feed the playmakers, and I happened to be that person. And I just wanted it more than anybody else on the field. I felt like so. I can keep the ball out of my hands.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I mean they fed you the ball 100 times this year, with 100 receptions, which is crazy. Um, how would you describe yourself as a receiver? I mean, is there maybe a player at like the next level that you aspire to be, or somebody that you're a fan of, or how can you kind of walk me through that, if you don't mind?
So I wouldn't necessarily say I inspired to be like anybody because it's not really too many people that I see with my skill set as far as what I do, the versatility I have. But I do get compared to a lot of people, and those people happen to be like Kadarius, Tony, Demarius Thomas, few of those aspects that are all around, can be in the backfield, can throw the ball, run the ball, catch the ball. But nobody specifically that I would compare myself to. But I do have, he's not my biological brother, but he's basically a big brother to me that plays in the NFL. His name is Laquan Treadwell. And then another close friend named Lance Lenore that I go train with. And we train with a lot of NFL receivers, and I see a lot of these people. So I try to get game and knowledge from them and bring it to my game and change it in my own aspect.
Nice. Always nice to have some guys that are some buddies at the already at the next level that are
Yeah,
helping you transition. So
for sure.
um obviously been there at Georgetown for a while. What do you feel has been maybe your most memorable moment to date? Is there maybe a play or maybe one of those receptions or touchdowns that you were able to get that really sticks out for you?
Um, That's a lot of plays to pick from. But I think one of my biggest moments actually happened to be this year on my longest touchdown. I always once I just never broke a lot of touchdowns like for long yards because I run so many short routes. But this year they actually had me playing outside receiver more, so I was running a lot of deeper routes. But I was running it was a fade route, and I beat the corner, and the safety came over top, and I just jumped back, made him miss. He flew out of bounds, and I just took it for 75 yards. And like just the feeling of that, and seeing the crowd and my teammates just cheering, it was just an amazing feeling.
Nice. And what game was that in? Who are you playing
That
against so that I
was
could go
that
back
was
and watch it?
that was against St. Francis this year.
Gotcha. So against St. Francis, about 75 yards, scampering down the field. So
Yes, sir.
everybody got to turn that one on just to see it. So, um, hey, Josh, let's go ahead and step off the football field a little bit. I'm kind of curious about you, outside of a football player. What are you into, man? What do you like? Tell me something about yourself that maybe not everybody knows. Any hobbies or whatever you want to, hit us with.
Yeah, so like I was saying earlier, I'm just an all-around athlete, so I just love doing anything sports related. But one of my main hobbies, like I love bowling and I love fishing. I could do those. If I could, I would do those all year round. One thing I've never done was go deep sea fishing, but I bought a little bass boat during the pandemic, and I would just take it up rivers and stuff and fish basically every day.
So whereabouts, I mean, down in that area of DC are you going, man? I'm just
So
kind of curious.
my boat is back in Chicago, but
Uh,
where I
okay.
where I fish over there, so I don't take it on Lake Michigan because the waves are just too big. I only have a 16 and a half foot boat. So the waves will just flip my boat. But I take it through like rivers, so like the Sag, which is in Calumet City. Um, and then I go up to Lamont as well and Des Plaines. So I just take it on smaller bodies of water, catch little bass and carp.
Gotcha. And tell me about your hometown, man. If I were to come visit you in your hometown, is there maybe like a local hotspot that you frequent? I mean, like a restaurant or something that you'd want to take me to?
Um, so where I live now, there's not really many restaurants in my town, but if you go a couple towns over, take me and my friends go to Buffalo Wild Wings quite a bit. Uh, it's a lot of restaurants, a lot of different. I love it's a pizza spot. We go to DiGiorno's, um, and then other than that, we're just either hanging out, training, or in the house.
So is that like your cheat meal, like some pizza, some wings? I mean, what's that?
Yeah.
What's that one thing? Is that what it is for you?
Well, if I could pick a cheat meal, it would be In and Out, but I don't live on the West Coast or in Texas, so the In and Out. But yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings has always been about my cheat meal. Buffalo Wild Wings and Hooters. I used to go there probably every other week or once a week in high school.
Gotcha, gotcha. Hey, as obviously you've been a football player for a long, long time. A lot of people that have poured into you. Going back to your days, in Illinois. Now they're at Georgetown, and then moving forward. Um, so of all those coaches that have poured into you, has there been maybe one particular lesson that still sticks with you today that you care to share, like? Either from your position coach, your head coach, your OC, or whatever?
Yeah, so I my I transitioned over to receiver my junior year of high school, and that coach who happens to also be my baseball coach for high school as well. He um he was just always on me. He knew my potential and what I was capable of, but I never took football as serious as I took baseball. So I just didn't unlock those things. But he would always tell me to fake it till I make it. And at first, I never really understood what he was getting at. And then I realized, like, just give it your all or make it seem like you're giving your all in a certain situation just to be there, show your teammates that you actually care and want to win. And then everything else is just going to show up on tape.
Yeah, I think.
So when I was,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Sorry. Keep going.
I was just saying, so when I was trying to figure out what I was going to do about college after I stopped playing baseball, I had no clue what I was doing. So as I said, I transitioned over to receiver, and he became my position coach, and he would always tell me, just give your all, and if you feel like you hurting or something's bothering you, just fake it till you make it. And I used to be like very injury prone back then, which is why I feel like he would tell me that all the time. So I would just always battle through injuries, and that plan being injured my senior year would not give me scholarships. So he'll always say, "Fake it till I make it." And throughout college, I have injuries, and it just never slowed me down.
Gotcha. I think when people say fake it till you make it, it's more it's more up here. It's a mindset. It's a confidence thing, because if you walk onto the field, with your head held high, with a positive attitude, then are you truly faking it, or are you just kind of, I don't know, forcing that mentality out and in kind of reaping success off of it? I mean, maybe that's more so what he was trying to get at. But I kind of get what you're saying. A lot of lessons that I'm sure that you've learned over the years. If you were to maybe have the opportunity to talk to that high school self and give him maybe one pointer to get him through, like, his years, in college at Georgetown University, what would you tell him?
I would tell my younger self to invest or prioritize those who invest and prioritize myself, because I have such a big heart, and I always feel like I need to help everybody else or put people before myself. And back then, it just used to drain me a lot and take away so much energy from me and what I was focused on, and like, it would just retract my focus, and that really wasn't getting me anywhere until I got to college, and I realized my energy, peace, and happiness is the most important thing that I can protect.
Awesome. Well, Joshua, we're obviously at the point now where, you're moving forward. You're done with your time there at Georgetown. I mean, you're trying to get yourself to that next level. So, is there a place that you're going to be training at as you, kind of move forward? I mean, what's your situation like?
So I'm currently going to be taking one class this spring to finish out my degree, but I've been having conversations with my professor to get him on board with my current situation with entering the draft. So he said attendance isn't going to be mandatory. So I'm now looking for a facility to train at, and then whether that's going to be most likely in Texas, but I may end up going to Arizona or Florida as well, and then I'll most likely be coming back to DC whenever I have exams.
Gotcha. And then obviously you got to come back for that pro day. So
Yes,
a lot of things happening for you, a lot of crazy things going on, obviously. So I know a lot of scouts are really wondering about you, maybe have gone to some of your games. And so I kind of want you to close this out by speaking directly to all those people and telling them why you would make a great asset to their team. So go ahead and hit all those, all those guys with your pitch. So go for it.
Yeah, so I would be a great asset to any NFL team, just for the simple fact of how coachable I am, how much I can adapt to a system, how much of a teammate I am. I'm a team first player, and anything that you need me to do, I'll do it with no hesitation.
Gotcha. So, I mean, like you said, I mean, a versatile guy that could really do a lot of different things, play the slot, play on the outside, be a guy on special teams that can make an impact. So I know you have a lot of things going on right now. You're trying to finish up your degree. You're trying to, do a whole bunch of things, preparing for the draft. But Joshua, I do want to wish you best of luck and all that. All right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it a lot.
Sure. So once again, I got with me Joshua Tomas. He is a wide receiver out of Georgetown University. Definitely check him out.
Appreciate it.